everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. That's on. And what's up to you too, my brother? I'm gonna try to get my computer over a little bit closer to me so I can see you guys, see your comments better. You look upset. Actually, I'm home, so things are looking up. Devon, what's up, brother? We're gonna let you guys get in here. I read the title. So is that how K Paso is printing out? Well, that's perfect. So I'm gonna have to remember how to do that. That's pretty cool. K Paso Caesar. I just got back in the Volvo yesterday. Devon, did they give you a 2020 2019 Volvo, or was it 2020? Big Herb, what's up, my brother? How you doing, man? I'm wondering if I need to get one of those one of those masks to do this live with, so I don't transfer virus, y'all. I don't have that shit anyway. We'll let a few more people get in here, and then I'm gonna start yapping a little bit. It's a 19. That's cool. Mine, the one I had was a 20. Though it was a 19 as well, and I really liked that Volvo. It did a really good job. For itself, it started having some. It did have a few mechanical problems at the end, and that's what made us part ways there. But other than that, man, I really had a good time. That Volvo drives really well, and that sucker can turn on a dime, which makes parking very, very good. So I really liked it. Well, Caesar, you live in Miami. That's a fun place to live. I bet. I'm trying to remember if I've delivered down there. I don't think I have, but um, I did. What as my son was growing up, I coached. That's how I got into the youth sports marketing. One of my other businesses is my son played baseball, and the Houston Astros do their spring training in Florida, and we would go down there and do tournaments every year. And my team was pretty good. Most of those boys went to play college ball, and I was really happy with it. But I enjoyed it down there. But the problem was, it actually rained. Excuse me. It rained. Quick hands. Every day, but it only rained for maybe like an hour, and then it would go away, and the sun would come out, and it would be like 7,000% humidity. But no, it wasn't bad. Uh, Devin, Devon, he's talking about his Volvo. He says they are nice trucks. I love the space inside, and yes, they drive as well. And hopefully, Swift has the issue worked out with them now. Devon, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm gonna call you Devon. I hope I'm doing it right. Um, the problem with that I had with that Volvo wasn't Swift. It was actually the truck itself. The windshield leaked, and it leaked water down the A pillar. The A pillar is the uh, the part of the door or the body of the truck that holds the windshield on the left side of the glass, where the glass meets the truck body. That's that pole right there is called an A pillar, and it would leak water down in, and the water would run down and get into the fuse box. And once it gets into the fuse box, the truck started doing some really weird stuff, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But yeah, everything else about that truck was on top of it, man. I really enjoyed it. Um, uh, I say 5 minutes away from Miami. See the we like neighbors. Yeah. Um, Florida is pretty cool, man. I like. There's a lot of stuff about Florida that I like, and that's kind of similar to Texas. And you guys know how much I love Texas. So I'm gonna give a few more minutes for some few more people to get in. But in the meantime, so that I can run my mouth, I'm gonna talk to y'all a little bit about um, my experience so far with flatbed up to this point. Okay, and the deal is the training that I received at Melton. Uh, I I like the fact that um, it was a week long, okay, and it's a lot longer than that. Um, at one of their other location, at the main location in Tulsa, and the reason behind that is the one that I went to was for experienced drivers only. So we did just a really short road trip. They just wanted to make sure you could drive, and other than that, the whole week was load securement. Pretty much, you had one day where they talked about the company, and then we did load securement for several days, and then at the last day we did a little bit more talking about the company, and passed out trucks, and off you went. So the gist of it is I didn't get a whole lot of securement stuff. Why did you leave, Swift? I'll talk to you a little bit about that in just a minute. Um, he says the Vom's talking about his truck leaks as well. It's just something about these damn big rigs. They have issues, man. They shouldn't cost so much. They shouldn't cost near what they cost for the problems that you get. But anyways, um, they have on the yard. They have trailers that have simulated loads on there, and then you practice securing those loads, and then they teach you stuff like how to do a belly wrap, how to secure coils, and all that sort of stuff. So you actually go through, you physically are doing the binders and securing these loads. The problem with flatbed, and that's totally different than a dry van, man. I mean, you pick up a dry van, okay? You go pick that. When I say a box, I mean dry van reefer, and I mean, you where there's your load, you go over there and back under it, and pre-trip the trailer, put your lock on the doors, you gone. Nothing to it, and I don't give a shit what's in the box. It doesn't make any difference. It could be reefer with a bunch of frozen corn, or a reefer with some hanging meat, or a dry van with some drawers back there, or dry van with some TVs back there. You don't make any difference. The process is back up to it, pre-trip the trailer, put your lock on the door, shag ass. But when it comes to flatbed, you can go pick up some shingles, And the first load of shingles is different from the second load of shingles in the y'all shingles. And oh my God, man, you got to decide where you want those shingles on that trailer so that the weight is distributed properly. Most of the time, they will know because they've loaded that particular stuff several times, okay? And with spread axles, it's not a whole lot of issue, but I'm just telling you that it can be different. You can go to the same place, 3 trucks in front of you, and all 3 of them get different stuff, and they load it different, all 3 of them. So the bottom line is the training that you get on the yard at these flatbed companies. Man, I mean, they do what they can do. They give you as much as they can give you, but what they're giving you is a foundation. They're giving you the something to build on, and then you go out there and you grow it, right? Jack, what's up, brother? And Carlos Manning, what's going? 50. What's happening? 50, please drop them jewels. I'm trying, my friend. I'm trying. And then Caesar asked me, do I like Melton? And I'll talk to y'all about Melton here in just a second. But I want to finish telling you a little bit about the experience with getting started in flatbed. So, I believe that most of these companies are going to do the same thing. They're going to try to, give you as much information as they can give you, train you as best they can train you, then get you out there. But then, just like driving and reefer any other truck, trailer situation, transportation situation, once you get out there, the world teaches you, man. You get the job of training. That's about it. That's how it works. But with flatbed, man, it can be a little bit unnerving. The first time I did suicide coils, by the way, 2 of them. And I, never secured outside of what I did at the yard, on the little mock-up things. I never really secured them for the whole time, and then you got to tarp them and everything. So you're not really seeing the load after you secure it, right? So you're driving down the road, and every time you hit a bump, you're looking at the rearview mirror going, I'm about to be crushed by, these 20,000 pounds of piece coils coming, rolling through the cab, and so those things kind of weigh on you and it mess you up, you know what I mean? So let's just say the process was you go through the orientation, so to speak, and then you get out on the road with a trainer, and then the trainer is, going through some things with you, of course. You guys are taking loads and you're doing all the securement with them, and also putting the tarps on and all that kind of stuff, and you're actually learning real world scenario, and because it's what's going on, and then after you go solo, you will have a little bit more. You'll feel better about the situation. But every time you get a load, you always thinking, damn, how is this working out? Really, am I actually doing this right? So, which brings me to this deal here. I picked up a load, and I dropped off a load in El Paso, and they dispatched me to the Melton terminal in El Paso to pick up a loaded trailer there, right? So I got there, and the trailer wasn't there yet. So the guy told me at the yard, he says, well, it's coming in from Mexico, and so what's going to happen is the barbecue trucker back on the scene. What's that, man? 50 Centauros. EJ54, hey brother, how are you? So anyways, I'm at the terminal in El Paso, And then the guy says, hey, the truck hadn't gotten here yet. It's coming in from Mexico. When it gets here, you'll be able to get that, pick the load up. It's already, of course, already on the trailer. So you can swap straps and, all that kind of things and tarp it and be ready to go. And by the way, the drivers of that truck coming in from Mexico, those guys will tarp your load for you. And I was like, shit, yeah, how much? $20. Done. Shit. All day, hear me? So these two Mexican dudes bring that load in. And the guy on the yard tells him in Spanish, okay, you guys are going to tarp this guy's load, and he's going to pay you for it. And I'm all excited because I don't have to tarp it. And I watched these two guys tarp this load, and it was stem to stern. These dudes tarped that load in about, no shit, it took them about 15 minutes. And it looked like looked like that load was shrink wrapped. They had that load so tight, man. That tarp was they had it, bro. They had it. I mean, I was in awe. So they were doing a couple other trailers at the same time. Well, at the same time, but they had a couple more trailers to do it. So I watched then, and I started paying attention to what they were doing. And let me tell you something. These guys was so good at tarping and strapping those loads, securement. They made it look like, like it was just cakewalking. It was. I learned so much from these guys, and they slowed down a little bit on the second one because they saw me, kind of hanging around, and they kind of showed me some stuff. Of course, there was a language barrier there, but these guys were able to demonstrate to me and show me, and I would do one. They would say, no, don't take it over here. Just, pull the bungee this way. And I'm going, damn, I'm spending all this time, pulling these bungees real tight and all this kind of stuff. And you really don't have to just go, ape shit leaning into those straps to get those things tight. It's the way they position the tarp first. And the tarp was already sweet before they started, man. And it just looks like it was poured on. I learned so much for them dudes when it came down to tarping. And when I got that load delivered, I untarped, and I really paid good attention to how the bungees were and everything, so I could, kind of learn it. Then my next load was a tarp load. It generally takes me about 2 hours to tarp and secure with straps a load, stem to stern, meaning the full load, right? 3 tarps. It took me about 45 minutes to do 3 tarps, secure the load, and do 3 tarps, and that's something looked like it was poured on. I was I wish I was broke arm so I could pat myself on the back. And I got that from these 2 Mexican guys that came over, and they spent the time to. I wish them guys was here right now, but I'd make them a big old plate and get them drunk as they want to, because I really, they really made my job a lot easier. Just with them spending the time to to school me. Okay, so I'm gonna go briefly. I made a video answering your question. Your question was why did I leave Swift? And I made a video about that. You may want to scooch back there, then you can watch the whole story, because I really don't want to rehash the meat and gravy of it. I will just say that there was some allegations going on that were found to be bullshit. But because they came from, and I don't want, I hope this doesn't offend some females out there, but because these allegations came from a female, it was throw the baby out with the bathwater type of situation over there, and I understand it because, you know, they don't want, um, Swift doesn't want to give the illusion that they're going to be soft, or takes a female's concerns lightly, although they did. But they threw the baby out with the bathwater. I saw it coming, so I quit. But I thoroughly enjoyed working there, man. I did. I enjoyed Swift. I enjoyed people that I was working with, my driver leader, and everything was cool. I really enjoyed it. Go back and watch that video, and you'll learn, the full story. But the bottom line is, I started writing on the walls, and even though I knew they was going to rule in my favor, at the end of the day, they had to make a corporate decision and throw the baby out of the bathwater. And the sad thing about it is that was a bunch of bullshit. But there's a lot of women out there that has real concerns about what's going on at their job or other places like that, and then they, because of situations that are bullshit, they sometimes will be taken for granted when they have legitimate concerns, and for that I feel bad for them. But at this time, it was a bunch of fucking bullshit, and the bullshit actually injured, career-wise, several people. Even some of my former students quit because they felt the company trying to build a bullshit case against me. And they said, "Fuck you, we're not gonna be a part of this. It's wrong. None of this shit happened, and we leaving." And I had some of my former students quit. They said, "I'm not part of this bullshit." So it was a bad situation, and I thought it was best to leave. Now on the other side of that, I got into this industry because I wanted to go heavy hauling with my son. Right? I have 3 boys. One drives big trucks, and he pulls heavy. Then my other 2 sons have gotten their pilot's license to escorts. Okay, not escorts, but not escorts, but lights on the truck, and lead oversized loads down the road. That type of escort. And so what we're going to do is I need to get the flatbed experience so then I can do heavy with my other son. We can drive tandem trucks, and then my boys follow us, and we have a bunch of fun together. That's the goal. And so life was beautiful at Swift. I really was having a damn good time. And the contrary to popular belief, I was making a shit ton of money. Okay, a lot of money. I was in my first full year at Swift. If I stayed there 10 months, my first consecutive 10-month period. When I left, I was over $80,000. I would have been well over $100,000 in my first year at Swift as a solo driver. Now I was a mentor and had a couple other things going on. I was making some money, bro. You can kill it over there. So I was really happy, and I wasn't going to leave because I was having such a good time. So I'm kind of glad things happened the way it happened, because it forced me to get back on track and get back to my goals and quit having, go back to work instead of having all this goddamn fun driving, right? So I wasn't tripping. So, now, when I went to, let me catch up with some of your questions first, okay? Barbecue truckers just chilling house, man. I'll be glad when you get your stuff, man, and come on out here and burn some fuel with us. Hey, I heard Hunt Transportation, they don't have to tarp. It kind of depends. It depends on what type of loads they have. They may not tarp. They may do a lot of bricks or construction equipment. Equipment doesn't, a lot of times don't have to be tarped. and also depend on the distance they're going. The weather conditions, a lot comes into effect when it comes to whether you do or do not tarp a load. And I'm gonna tell you something, because they'll be talking about that. I couldn't understand, man. Why is it that I go to a shipper and I'm picking up this load, right? And the load is outside on the yard, right? And they get a forklift and pick it up and put it on the back of my truck. It's sitting out in the weather and everything. And then they put it on the back of my truck, and then they tell me they want it tarped. And then I tarp it. Take me 2 hours, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? And so then I drive it to the receiver. The receiver take it off the back of my truck, put it out in the goddamn weather again. I'm like, what the hell? You made me do all that tarp before. The difference is, while you're driving down the road, the air pressure coming off the truck and the wind will start tearing away the plastic that's covering the load, so it has to be protected. And that, so it happens. Some loads you get, you're lucky enough to not have to tarp them, but for the most part, they want them tarped because they protect the load, and not just because, well, they can't get wet, or they're trying to protect it from snow or rain, but just travel, the wind, crap flying off the ground from other vehicles passing by can damage the freight, and that's the reason why they want you to tarp it. So I kind of got over it, thinking, man, but now that these guys taught me how to do it, shit, man, I don't mind now. It's no real big deal. I just make it happen. Let's see what else we got here. Williams, what's up, 50? What's up to you? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, that's going to be neat with your boys. Yeah, man, we're looking forward to that. And it's going to be a whole different platform when we start running together, and we have a lot of fun together. And that I spawned some good ones. So they talk a lot of shit like me. So can you imagine all four of us making one little show or something? That'd be pretty good. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. So, anyways, because my separation with my previous marriage with Swift ended in divorce. My new marriage with Melton, we had to take it slow. 3 months, I'm almost 3 months. It's almost 3 months from, because I went through orientation with Melton during New Year's, right? I spent New Year's Day in Birmingham, Alabama, at Melton. So that's when I started, and so this is just about 3 consecutive months. So the honeymoon is over, and I can tell you, from the first day till yesterday, I can tell you that's probably been one of the seamless situations I've ever been in. I mean, it's been really, really, really good, and I can say that I don't know if this is a caller or, I don't have a screen. That call came from New Jersey. Listen, guys, if that was you calling me from the show, call me right back. That's how I had to screen it, because I just ignored that one, because this phone, I don't use it very often, so I probably can get a lot of spam calls in there, and I didn't want y'all to listen to me spam talking to somebody. But anyways, I really enjoyed it, man, and I didn't want to say a whole lot about my experience at Melton until I spent enough time with them, man. I mean, I didn't want to start all this shit talking them up and everything, and then they throw me under the bus. And I just don't see it. It's this place is pretty cool, man. And um, you know, with my last experience, do I think that at any time it can go left? Well, yeah, that's a possibility. But these people seem, because it's a smaller company, you almost can feel the top, a little bit closer to you, and it just kind of seemed like everybody I talked to was pretty genuine. You know what I mean? And again, it was kind of that way when I was, with Swift, because the entire time I was there at Swift, I never ever dealt with anybody that I wanted to punch in the throat, for sure. Never happened until the last day. I dealt with one guy, that if that dude was in front of me, I probably would have drug him. Because he was just lying one word after another, and he was just trying to stoke some stuff, which was crazy. Uh, yo, yo, there we go. Sorry about that. I was thinking maybe it was one of you guys calling in. You see the numbers on the phone on the screen there. You can call me. I'm gonna start answering them, and so if I end up answering and there's some jackleg, then I'm just gonna hang up, okay? But I want to try to get you guys in. If you got some phone calls, you can call me. The numbers on the screen. I'll yap at you a little bit. But again, my thing with Melton has been is it's been really good. If I had anything that I would have done different, I would probably had not liked it. But in hindsight, I wish I had spent some time riding with a trainer, OTR, for at least a week at least. In a week we can do 3 loads. I mean, I don't need to help talking to the customers. I don't need help doing all that kind of stuff. I can drive the truck. I know how to run a clock. I know how to do all that kind of stuff. But securing the load is a big deal while you're in the midst of the load. Basically, what I'm saying is, when you get a load, you get to the shipper, they load you up. You got to come on, because there's a truck behind you that needs to get loaded, and then they want to tarp and strap and get going. And, they're done in 45 minutes, and there's some rookie in front of them taking 3 hours, and I've had that problem, but what I would do is just scooch up and get out of their way and then go back to work, and I think it would have been a lot better had I went through went with a mentor. Let me read some more of y'all comments. Devin says, say 50, is there a way to speak to you? Trying to decide between Prime and Swift. I have a recruiter for both. You can try to give me a shout. I'm going to see if this works this time. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, 50 plus.
Yes. How are you?
I'm watching you. You talking about something different. Are we live?
You are. Everybody's listening to you right now.
Oh, well, you know what? I have a quick question.
I have a quick
I got a
answer.
little, I have a little dilemma. I'm trying to pick between Prime and Swift. I have a recruiter named Wendy at Swift,
Uh huh.
and I have a recruiter at Prime. I supposed to went to Prime April 1st, but I have to take another sleep study because
Okay.
I have sleep apnea for the last 10 years. But
Okay.
their training program is like 3 months. Swift is like 3 weeks. What do you
Right.
think I should do? Because I'm working now. I have a $90,000, $100,000. I make $100,000 a year.
Okay.
Last year was slow. I made like 90,
Okay.
but I hate my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted a career change.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. First off, and it's because you mentioned the money. I'm going to talk to you about money, okay?
Yeah.
Uh, More likely than not, in your first year trucking, uh, you're probably going to hover somewhere around that. If you run hard, you may get about that 60,000 mile range,
Mhm.
$1,000 range. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's going to be a bit of a pay cut for you. Okay, and you may end up with that pay cut there for about a year and a half. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you there. Okay, but um, it may money may not be the single motivator, but I am going to let you know that's what you need to be aware that that's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't matter with the money. I just want
Okay.
to make a career change. Money doesn't matter.
Okay. Cool. So now, um, what is it that you want to get out of trucking? I mean, for instance, myself, I got into it because my son wanted me to help him build a business with a fleet of heavy haul trucks. And I had no experience. I didn't know what was going on with trucking. All I knew was that my son drove trucks. I had no uh, desire to get into this, but to help my son, I had to get into it to learn the business. So at the end of the day, that was my goal. So I needed to get into it, and I needed to go with a company that had flatbed, and uh, so I went with Swift for a couple of reasons. One, they had a flatbed division, and number two, they have a pretty quick get in the truck. Get your own truck, get out of other people's hair pretty quick. So those two things kind of pushed me that way, despite what anybody, all the negatives that people said about Swift. So you see what I'm saying? So you see, there was kind of a method to my madness. Now, what's the method to yours? What's your end game? What is it you want to get out of
see,
this?
see, this is my thing. I actually been driving Class B tankers for maybe close to 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to own my own truck. I want to, travel, own my own truck, do my own thing,
Okay.
have my own LLC, own authority.
Okay.
And like what I do now, I do construction sites, so I got to climb up on top of cranes, excavators, fill them up with diesel, gas. Like it's a lot. It's hard work for
Uh
that
huh.
money, and I'm working like a lot of hours every day. So, and I spoke to Prime. Like I said, I supposed to went to Prime April 1st, but they put a pause on the orientations because of what's going on.
Right.
But when I spoke to Swift today, the lady today, she was like, we'll get your license. I already have my permit.
Right.
You'll be in and out within 3 weeks. I said 3 weeks.
Right.
Prime, I think it's like 3 months before I get into my own truck. 3 to 4 months.
Well, the 3 weeks probably to change your Class B to a Class A CDL,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
but
yeah.
then you still have to go out with a mentor, and you're gonna do 200 hours with Swift. You're gonna do 200 hours with a mentor, and that generally would take between 4 to 5 weeks of driving with the
So it's
mentor.
still quicker than Prime.
Oh my God, I think we have a lot of people that's quicker than Prime.
Yeah,
Not
but the
necessarily
thing
saying it's
about
a bad
Swift,
thing.
I'm hearing so many bad things
Yeah.
about Swift, and I watch you on YouTube. So I said, you know what? Let me call. I mean, let me watch you some more. And then I seen the number. This is my first time seeing you live.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, let me call in
Yeah.
and ask you, questions about Swift.
Right. I'm glad. I'm glad that you decided to call. And for those out there that are listening, eventually he's going to get off the line, and this line is going to free up, and somebody else can give me a call, because what I do is for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
And if I don't know, I'm gonna try to find the answer, and I'll pump it out there a little later. But this is a good way for me to be able to give you guys the content that you want and answer the questions that you have. Okay,
Yes,
and
yes.
so I'm gonna tell you something. I am I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman first before I'm a truck driver. Before I'm anything, I'm a businessman. This is what I do. Okay, and generally. The attention goes to the winner, and then everybody hates the winner. That's a fact, okay? We watch
Yeah.
NFL, and the Patriots go to the Super Bowl every goddamn year. and everybody don't like them. Why? Because they keep winning all the time.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Facts.
So, uh, Swift Transportation win the Super Bowl of trucking every goddamn year, so everybody hate them. But remember, there was a day before Swift, there was J.B. Hunt. J.B. Hunt
Okay.
was number one. There was a bigger though winning all the Super Bowl, like the Steelers. Remember?
Yeah, yeah,
The Iron Curtain. Everybody hated them because they winning all the damn time.
yeah.
Okay, and so people did the same thing about J.B. Hunt as they doing with Swift right now. But people love drama. People love bullshit. Okay, because it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and in trucking you're gonna find out just like everybody else. Not just truckers on the place, but other people. What they do is they are very non-thinking conglomerate of people. Okay, and when
Okay.
I say that, what I mean is people in this industry don't really want to think for themselves. What they will do is listen to the talking heads and which way is the bandwagon going, so that must be where the true information is, and they just jump on it. And then they take that bandwagon information as fact and say, well, Swift is horrible, he sucked, they dissed. Man, I'm tell you something. I was they did me dirty at the end, but I understand because I understand business. Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't have a bad day with them, man. I made a bunch of money. I'm telling you right now, I can work for Melton for 5 years, 5 more years consistently, and I won't get to a level where I can make as much money as I made with Swift in the first year. And I had a damn good driver lead, and I made a bunch of money, and it was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute. And to be straight with you, I didn't witness any of that talking head bullshit that they were talking about with Swift. I promise you that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now, so and you talking to somebody who was pretty much ousted by them. Um, I quit, but I really didn't have a choice because if I hadn't quit, I was going to be released anyway.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I was gonna ask you if it wasn't too personal. Why did you leave Swift to go to Milton?
because I had a student that my first student, she put out a bunch of allegations, and they had to investigate it.
Yeah.
So they, during the investigation, realized that this was a bunch of bullshit because a lot of the allegations was saying I was doing things that I couldn't possibly do because I was like half the country away, so it couldn't have happened. But when a company gets stuff, and it wasn't any like sexual things or nothing like that. It was like I was supposedly making physical threats, to
Okay.
do harm and shit like that. Crazy as fuck. How the hell am I gonna do that? I'm way the hell cut roughly. But anyways, uh, when those kind of things happen, a company has to separate themselves from that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I understood it. Okay, so I'm not even angry with them. I still talk them up.
Yeah.
I'm not angry with them. They did what they had to do, and I understand. And I think we both lost on that deal because I was with a company that I really enjoyed, and in a situation that I was extremely benefiting from, and they were benefiting from it because they had somebody like myself that was, that was promoting them pretty good. We was having a good time, but it came to an end, and I'm not angry with it, and it worked out because I was doing so well that I had gotten off track. What was my goal? My goal was to go do heavy with my son. But I
Okay.
was doing
Okay. Yeah.
so good, and I was having so much fun doing what I was doing. I probably wouldn't have moved. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
happen for a reason. Karma, if somebody say God's will or whatever, whatever happened, it happened for a reason because now I'm where I'm supposed to be because I'm back on track. Okay, so
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
now, but we didn't call so you can talk about me, and everybody that's listening to this, they didn't heard this story before, but they probably wanting to know what is it, my answer to your question about going to possibly
Swift over
Prime,
Prime.
okay? And Swift doesn't have any tanking divisions if that was what you wanted to do, but
Oh, they don't.
No, Swift does not have tanking. Now, Swift has flatbed, drive-in, and refrigerated.
See, this is why I'm glad I called in and actually get to speak to somebody that worked for Swift,
Yeah.
because when I spoke to the recruiter, because I know how recruiters are, they try to get you in there. I don't know if they work on commission, whatever.
Yes, they do.
But she told, because I drive tankers, and I said that's what I would like to do, and she said, well, we have a regional, but you won't be able to get into a tank until, what did she say, 3 months after 3 months experience, 3 months after I start driving for them.
Yeah, I have
Then I
a.
can switch over to a tanker.
Yeah, never, ever did I ever see, or will you find on Swiss website that they do any kind of tanker. Now, the only thing that they haul that you would need a tanker license for is and they haul it in a drive-in, but there's
Oh,
these crates, these metal crates
mm-hmm.
that have liquid containers inside these metal crates that they push inside of a drive-in, and
See,
because
they
of the
don't.
size of those tanks, you actually have to have a tanker license, but you pull it in a drive-in. Okay,
Wow.
okay. So no, I ain't never seen it, and it don't exist.
So
Uh,
I don't know if okay, so she gave me misinformation.
Correct. Prime has flatbed, tanker, and refrigerated. They don't necessarily have a drive-in apartment. They will do a dry load in a reefer trailer, but
And
they are a refrigerated tanker flatbed company. Prime is
yes, and the thing I like about Prime that is like the lease program, because I
correct.
wanted to do that. I
Correct.
want to do the LLC, start that, and they have a couple of programs. You can lease to own, and you can do walkaway lease, which you can lease for 2 days and walk away, for a
Correct.
month and walk away.
Correct.
So, but she said they don't have that at Swift.
Correct. They have a Swift does have a lease program, and it is a walkaway lease, but it is not a lease purchase program. Okay, so
So
you
there's a walkaway lease though.
right, but you're not purchasing the lease. You're not purchasing the truck.
Okay.
Okay, so um, you're gonna hear the talking heads again, that bandwagony thing once more, talking about leasing and how never do a lease. They call it a fleece, or it's just such a bad idea and all that kind of stuff. You paying the truck off for somebody else and blah 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 blah. That's so damn stupid. Don't listen to that, okay? Because the fact is, we as a transportation company has an influx of cash that comes from guys driving trucks. That's their income. You know,
Yes.
the money don't come from a bakery. So those trucks that they have and the buildings that they have and the rest of the employees and staff they have, how are they getting paid? They're getting paid because those guys are out there driving those trucks and delivering that freight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the fact is, the driver in that truck is paying for that truck regardless, whether it's a lease or a company driver. A portion of the money that you earn driving that truck passes through the company,
Mhm.
and then the residual goes to the driver. But all of everything else come out first. Okay, if we generate that money, we don't get to keep it all. We pay for everything. That's what we
Yeah. Yeah. Of
do.
course, you got to pay for everything. Yeah.
Correct. So that's stupid for somebody to say that you leasing a truck from through a company like that you paying the truck off for somebody else. That's so stupid. It's so shallow, and they can't even. You start talking to somebody about it, and they lose it because they have no foundation on what they're saying. You know why? Because they got that information from the bandwagon and just jumped on it. And if they were to sit down with me and have an intelligent conversation back and forth, they probably hang up because they don't want to,
I,
because they don't make any sense, man. You know what I mean?
yeah. I know you can make a lot of money if you lease on if you do a lease.
Uh huh.
Depends if you how hard you push, and I'm trying to push hard so I can buy my own truck.
Right.
That's my goal, to buy one truck and if possible another and another.
Right.
So I can have a fleet. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have other calls, but was another question I had to ask. Oh, this is another question before I let you go, just in case you have other calls. I'm coming down there now. I live in New Jersey.
Okay.
She said I would go to Richmond, Virginia,
Uh-huh.
and my thing is, once I upgrade to the A, once I get there within what I think she said 3 weeks,
Uh-huh.
but motor vehicle is closed. So I asked her, like, Prime, you can take your test 7 days a week at Prime because they have officers that come down there. They have like a third party, and you
Right.
get your license right there.
Right.
But she said they have the same thing. But my
Right.
thing is, if automotive vehicles is closed, how to actually get my license to actually get into my own truck?
The
She said they just put in the system your score.
Correct. So what happens is, and this is for all of the guys out there listening. This is the way that these schools work. These are third party. The schools are run by a different group, more likely. Okay, this way Swift does it too. But what ends up happening is you're gonna go do your time, and there's a specific amount of time you have to spend in the class, and specific amount of time you have to spend behind the wheel before they can sign you off, and then they sign you off, and then you can then get test go to like DMV to test, right? But the instructors that are running that school are certified by the state to give the DMV test. Okay, that's the reason you don't have to leave the facility where where you took the school, where you had to leave the school. You didn't have to go to the DMV. And the people who test you are maybe a familiar face because they are instructors there at that school. The rule is they could not have instructed you. Okay.
Yeah.
So the person who's going to take you on your road course test they didn't have any part in training you while you were at the school. That's the way that works. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So then what happens is you go through and they score you, and then they say, okay, this person passed. They will then input your score into the state's website. Okay. And then within 24, 48 hours or whatever the time they tell you, they may tell you 72 hours or whatever it takes, whatever the state time is. Can you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so then you go to your state's DPS office and say, I passed my test, I want my CDL. And then they will swap your license for you. Take your new picture and you pay a little money, and then you walk home with your
Yeah,
CDL.
see, that's my issue right now, being that automotive vehicles are shut down.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm not trying to leave my job to go down there and it don't work out. Then,
Well, they're not gonna be closed down forever.
Yeah, but like I told her, I said I can come April 22nd. So if it's 3 weeks, I can take 3 weeks off. But then another person emailed me, Josie Sanchez, and she said it was a 4 week program. But the lady I spoke to, Wendy, the recruiter, said it was 3 weeks.
Well,
1 week in the classroom and 2 weeks to get me, for the test.
Right. Well, and it kind of depends how long it takes for them to get to you, and how big the class is,
Okay.
But it also you also going to show up with a class B, and so it's not like you're showing up with no commercial motor vehicle license.
And I'm actually in driving school right now.
Yeah, yeah. So
I go to driving academy in Linden, New Jersey.
Right. So I think you should be good.
I hope so, because like I said, I don't know if I'm going with Prime or Swift, but so far Swift is like 3 weeks. But I'm loving Prime. Prime though, even though I've never been there, it's like all the information I have, and it's like,
Right.
just focused.
Devon, I do have your phone number. So now, caller, what's your name?
Paul, but yeah, my screen name, you seen it, Devon Justice, yeah.
Okay, Devon Justice, I want you to send me a text, okay?
Okay.
Well, soon to this same number, just text me when we get off the phone here, and I'm gonna have another Devon give you a call. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna share your phone number with him. Now I know him very well. Um, he's driver Swift, and he's really cool dude. Really cool dude. Lots of information too. Okay.
Okay.
And he can also help you along the way and answer questions for you and that sort of thing. Okay. He did.
Okay. Thanks.
He did. I'm looking at his message on the screen to get you to share the information with you. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So as soon as we get done, after I get off the show, I'm going to get back with you and let you know what's happening.
All right. Thanks a
Okay.
lot for all the
Now,
info.
now I got one other thing I want you to do. I want you to follow No Hippie Trucking and Transportation.
Oh yeah, I do. I
And
was watching them today.
and
He works for Prime.
correct. And I know Lyle very well, very well. Okay, personally, I know him, and I know him to be a no nonsense, no bullshitty type of person. Okay, and I know that the information that he would give you would be legit, and I also know that he is upfront enough to actually have a conversation with you. Okay,
Okay.
and so that's really what you need. You know, you need somebody on both sides to kind of let you know what's going on. But it sounds to me that you are, you really want something that Prime has to offer that Swift does not, and that's and I don't know if you've tried to get financing on a 3-axle commercial motor vehicle, but it's shit near impossible, which is the reason why lease is so big in commercial trucks. Okay, you have to be, if there's other than Bank of America, there's not not very many banks, actual banks, that will finance a 3-axle commercial motor vehicle. That's a fact, and I know it to be factual because I've been digging into it. Okay, so I know that is true, and even the bankers tell me the same thing. You go through a those trucks are financed through they are financial institutions, not necessarily bank, but they're financial institutions that basically works on leases.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's what they do, man. Because the real big problem with commercial motor vehicles and financing them is the fact that they depreciate at such a rapid rate.
Yeah. I know that.
In 3 years, they're shit near worthless in comparison to what you pay for them brand new. Okay, so
Yeah.
a bank is not going to finance that a depreciating asset like that, and that's the problem. So when you hear people talk about a lease, they don't know what the shit they talking about. Trust what I'm telling you. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. They just listen to people rap they mind around bullshit and then spew it on YouTube. And people listen to it and they run with it. And I'm telling you from the facts. So it sounds like you're going to be a more of a prime driver candidate to me. But I want you to do some thinking and also try to get in contact with Lyle over
Okay.
at No Hippie Truck and
You,
Transportation.
you know what? It's yeah. I've been trying to catch his live, but
Yeah.
I've been driving all the time and I can't catch it.
Just
So it's like,
comment. Just comment on one of his latest videos. Tell him that you and I talked to him on my live, and that you want to reach out to him.
okay,
That can reach out to you, and then he maybe can share an email with you and hook up that way.
okay,
Okay.
okay. I'll text you my number right now.
Yeah.
And thanks for all the info.
Yeah. Just text me your name and number on there back, so I'll have both of them together. Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You as well, brother. Anybody else want to call in? Please give me a call. I'll talk to you, man. For Swift, are you willing to work and drive? They'd be easier to work with. If not, they won't be inclined to work with you. This is Jack talking. He says, you can, okay, you can get the miles with Swift. Put nearly 60,000 miles on my truck. Jack, you're right. And he also says, and I've only had my truck since September. Damn, that's right, man. So Jack, he's obviously a Swift driver, and so he knows what I'm talking about. When I said that I did very well with Swift, I absolutely did very well with Swift. They the bullshit that you hear about them, man, is just simply not true, man. It's not, and they got 22,000 to 23,000 trucks out there. For instance, Melton, the company I work with, we have less than 2,000, less than 10% of the amount of trucks that Swift got out there. So, do you think Melton doesn't have guys, that they have an accident in a truck? Of course they do. Is it on the massive scale as Swift? Of course, of course it's not. But they're Melt is only 10% of the size of Swift. By the sheer numbers, they're gonna have accidents, and it has nothing to do with the fact that the person behind the wheel only been driving a big rig for a month of training. Come on, man. That's just like saying that your kid, okay, turns 18, and you take them driving around. They go through driving school at school or privately or whatever. But it still doesn't take them very long. But all of a sudden, that your kid cannot drive a vehicle unless they drive with you for, I don't know, whatever ridiculous amount of time they think that they should drive before they get to drive solo. And then expect that your kid never bumps into anything, never have a wreck, never do anything, right? That is impossible. It's so ridiculous. The thought process is stupid. It's just coming from haters, period. Okay? Swift does decent enough job training. I never had a problem. I went through the same training everybody else do. There's a whole shitload of drivers go through the same training as their fellow Swifty, and they don't turn a truck over on its side. I've seen a bunch of trucks wrecked out. I bet if I had to count, throw a number out, I know I've seen over 100 trucks wrecked out, and I have never seen not one single Swift truck wrecked out. On I-80, there was a wreck. It was about a month or so ago, guys, and there's like 50 something trucks wrecked out on in that wreck there. Not one Swift truck. How could that be possible? Swift has such horrible drivers. Surely one of those 50 goddamn trucks had to be a Swift truck. Bullshit, it was not. It was not. So, I don't work for him anymore. I'm still trying to reach that goddamn knife in my back. But it's still the truth, okay? It's still the truth. I don't regret any of it. I'm glad as hell I am where I'm at right now, though. I tell you that. Because Melton, bro, if anybody want to do flatbed, I'm going to tell y'all something. If you want to do flatbed shit, you need to hit me up. Hit me up, because I can get you in here. Best I can now. I mean, I don't, my name ain't, 50 Melton. You can't, Hey, man, I want to come drive, flatbed for Melton. Ooh, I want to come drive for Melton. Man, come on. Shit, I can't make work no miracle. But if you want to come drive for Melton, man, you're not going to regret it. The process. I've talked to my driver leader a few times since I met her. I don't mind picking up the phone, and she freaking answers the phone, man. And then we have a decent conversation that's not rushed. I mean, it's cool. But I rarely talk to him. Okay, I'll be honest with you, because I just drive, and then I deliver, and then I sit in the empty car, and they give me another load, and we keep on rolling. And I feel really good about the fact that, we're going through this stuff, the country's going through this craziness, but, I feel good. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep some freight going. And I'm only home. I'm only gonna stay for a couple of days, man. Just come home and take a breather and kick Sancho at the house for a little while, and then I'm gonna get back on the road. Go have some fun and make some money. And they got the freight to do it. And who knows what's gonna happen? But as long as I keep rolling, I'm gonna keep rolling, and I'm gonna keep rolling Melton as long as I can. Um, let's see. They still get royalties on all of the referrals that I had at Swift. Or when you quit, did those stop? I'm gonna tell you something, man. So I'm gonna repeat. His question was, "Am I still getting paid for the incentives that mentors get from students and referral buddies and that kind of thing?" And the answer is no. And that was in a very short period of time. I made over $26,000 in referral bonuses alone. Okay, and there were some people that didn't like the fact that I was making that kind of money that way, and I wouldn't expect for them to ever give me another dime. And not only that, I am the reason they don't have that program anymore. But I was loyal to them, and the UBS was loyal to them, and we grew a lot. And a lot of UBS came along, and yeah, I mentored some of the UBS while we were doing this. Every one of my students was. So we did really good, and they ain't like it. So no, they didn't give me nothing. And they didn't even send me my last check. And I get it, whatever. But no, to your question, and they used to give referral bonuses to new students, new hires. If you got zero experience, they could shut that down. And that's the reason why. I don't care. I'm about to start Swift, but my license expires on Saturday. I live in New York, and the DMV is closed, but the governor has extended our licenses, but I have to get Swift to understand that. Swift is a gigantuan company, okay? And the person you're talking to is not even a brain cell in that massive brain, okay? All they can do is go off a script. So you're going to say, hey, you know what the country's going through. And, they're not going to, shut your license down, but you can't drive because the DMV is closed. That's stupid, which it is. But they got something in writing in front of them that says, this is the protocol. If this person don't have a legit license, they can't drive. And to them, your license ain't legit, so you can't drive. And that's all they see. And I don't give a shit how you try to talk to them. You're not going to get them to understand that, bro. You're just not going to get them to understand it, because that person on the phone has talked to 50 other people just like you, and theirs is not expired. So they just going to take the path of least resistance. That's what happens. It's unfortunate. It is. It's unfortunate. It's going to slow you up a little bit. But this too shall pass. It'll get gone. And when it get gone, go get your license taken care of and then get right back out there. Okay? It may be a good reason why this is happening to you, which means a better door is going to open. Look at all the shit that happened to me and where I'm at right now. So I'm damn glad the shit happened. So it might happen for you too, man. But don't mean that you need to just, throw the towel in, because these people, they can only do what that piece of paper say in front of them. You know what I mean? So don't let that get in your way. I need a good trainer when I get to Swift. I already have a Class A. So, what's a good trainer? What is a good trainer? You know, what is a good student? You know, I've had that situation as when I was a trainer, and I hope I was a good trainer, and my students all said they had a good time, they learned a lot, and we had a good time together. So in their opinion, I worked out as a good trainer. But I bring it up because one of my students had a little bit of a nervous time, and I didn't understand why this person was having this block, this mental block. I'm not a psychiatrist, man. I don't know, but I decided to just give this person some privacy, and I went to the back, closed the curtains, and I said, the situation was he needed to back into a spot. He'd done it 100 times, okay, at least 3 times a day, every day up till then. It had that many. It wasn't no 100, but it was a lot of them. And he didn't want to back in there. He didn't want to back. And I said, "Come on, Mo, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, man. Go. Put it in the B for backing up, and then take your foot off the brake, start going." He wouldn't take his foot off the brake. So I got up, went to the back, closed the curtains, and said, "Okay, do what you got to do, man. It's all on you." And I felt the truck move, and he backed the radio, no problem. So in that situation, I've mentioned that a couple of times, because the difference between one mentor and another mentor is somebody was back there going screaming at him, going, "Man, go on, do it. You've been doing it before." And just harbor and badger the person when they didn't stop, evaluate the situation, say there's another way to handle this deal where I can still mentor this person. And when he got in there, he parked, and I got back up, and I walked up to the front and I said, "You give yourself more credit than you're giving yourself. You're much better than you're giving yourself, man." And that's got to be in a lot of other areas of your life that you could be, president. All you have to do is believe in yourself, because right now you're not giving yourself due credit. And he basically said, "Yeah, people told me that before." "Yeah, shit, yeah, I know it, but you're damn good at what you're doing, bro. You can drive this truck. All you gotta do is let yourself do it." So it worked out real good. So on the other side of that, I've had horror stories about students who just do crazy stuff. I had a guy tell me he woke up, and the student was driving up the goddamn road. They had went to bed, okay, went to sleep. And he woke up, the truck moving. This dude is driving. The student is. He's supposed to be driving. What the hell? That's just one thing, but, numerous of others, that's been crazy. So what's a good mentor, man? All I can tell you this is you just have to have a good fit. And you can find that out by this, do a phone interview. If you walk up to this person's truck and you can smell it before you get to it, or you open the door and it just, mice and shit running around the inside of it, you already know who this person is. You know what I mean? And that ain't gonna get you ain't getting along. But before you even meet this person face to face, you will have had at least one conversation with them, and just kind of feel them out a little bit. If they get short with you and they don't really want to talk, then get somebody else, because that person doesn't have any concern on whether or not the relationship will work between the two of you for that month to 5 weeks when you're at Swift. All that person knows is, or cares about, is getting you on there and making their money and getting you off. Okay, But if they actually care, they're gonna spend some time talking to you because they want to know who you are. They want to make sure that you good. Keywords they're looking for that I look for sure is I'm gonna stay here and do my 3 months and then I'm gone. What? No, I don't want you. Next, because you ain't serious. I want somebody that's gonna be here for a while. Because at the end of the day, mentor will make more money. He'll make a bunch of money while you drive, and you make money down the road if you keep driving. You follow me? So they kind of want to fill you out a little bit. Okay, so just ask them any questions you can. Interview them. Appreciate you too, my friend. Okay, guys, look, I'm gonna try to back up a little bit. Okay, this is King Cobra. He says the Swift has spread axle. That's all they have, man. Spread axles. And if y'all don't know what spread axles are, tandems have the two on like box vans. Well, there's some spread axle box vans too, but for the most part, a tandem, the two rear tires are this close. But on a spread axle, they may be like this. And then sometimes you'll see a toolbox in between the two. Those are spreads, okay? And the problem with spread axles is you don't have a tight turning radius because the trailer would start doing this and the tires, the front axle, just start sliding across the concrete. And if you load it, man, if you got a lot of weight, you can actually peel the rubber, the tires right off the rims. You can mess some stuff up. So you got to learn how to drive them. And yeah, they do have spread, so to speak. Okay. Let me see if I can find some more of y'all questions before I get off of here. Do you use a CB radio in your truck? I drive, but currently don't use one. I do have a CB. Y'all know the entire time I drove for Swift, I never used a CB. Never. I didn't start using one until I started driving solo at Melton. And I was over the road, I was thinking, man, I might need to use a CB because you never know, right? You may need to be somewhere where stranded or, it's just useful information. And I'll keep it on now. And kind of turn it down because of chatter. People. That's about 95% of the conversations come through a CB. Did you understand what I said? No, hell no. I don't even know what I said, but you don't know. That's about 85% of what you hear on CB radio. But what you can also hear is a northbound. There's a wreck on the left lane. Go ahead on and scoot over. You will hear that. You also hear, hey, southbound, car just hit a deer. That deer is going to be laying in the right lane or the left lane. You need to get over. You need some good information right there. That animal's already in the street. It's already laying down, and you may not see it till you get close enough, and then you're driving a Freightliner with that tooth down low, the low ground clearing, and tore up the bumper, running over a dead deer already. See, we give you some good information, you can get ready to pull into the Loves. Hey, drivers, that is a parking lot full. And they'll come back with you, yeah, it's full, or there's some in the very back, or, no Swift trucks allowed. I don't know, but you get you some good information on that sometime. But once you get parked, turn that crap off. What is that craziness? Barbecue trucker, chicken legs, chicken thighs. I'm on my way to make some sweet corn. I need to come over there to your house and eat, man. Divine Justice, where you and I just got through talking. Let me see. I need that huge mug for my desk. I got this mug. This one I'm talking about. I like big mugs. I got it on Amazon. And if you like, I will put the link to where I bought that mug at the end of this, or in this video, at the up underneath the little title thing once we're done. Okay, I'll try to remember to do that. Let's see what else, guys, before I let you guys go on about your business. Do you like Melton? Yes, I do. They're doing a fine job, man. They do a really good job, and they don't micromanage you. And I really like that. They have goddamn good equipment. I mean, Melton has some damn good equipment, guys. I mean, they trucks are clean as shit, and they really take care of them. They really take care of them. You can wash them. Every 21 days they'll pay for you to take it to Blue Beacon. So you clean them up real good. But the fact that they just don't keep old shit. They get rid of them old busted up ass old trailers and bring brand new stuff in. They spend money, man. They spend money on the equipment, and I really like that. Yeah, I really like it. And they bought a shitload of brand new Freightliners. Melton just be loaded with Kenworths. I believe the man trying to send a message to Kenworth. I believe that. I bet they getting the message. And I wouldn't mind that. I would if I had to get out this Freightliner, out of my Kenworth and get into a Freightliner, I would not bat an eye. I wouldn't bat an eye. I like the Kenworth. I like they look neater to me, but once you get inside of them, it's a goddamn truck, bro. And Freightliner got a lot of storage. I like it. But I ain't frowning on this Kenworth, but I wouldn't turn a bad eye to a Freightliner. Okay. Let me answer some more. Okay, so those are some old ones, guys. Hanging in. I'm just trying to make sure I got all y'all comments out of the way. Okay, he says, Judge says I have a drink out of that big cup. No, but as you can see, man, I have you probably don't get it into this into the view very well, okay? But this particular setup, and this is just a room in my house, so I actually have a broadcasting studio where I do my sports shows for my youth sports marketing deal, okay? And of course, it has a lot of sports theme because it's a sports theme setup, but it's an actual news desk type of thing, and it's a lot more professional. This is just a regular table, but the theme that I wanted to put on this table was these mugs, and so they all have sayings on it, and the very vast majority of them are conservative based themes, but that's what this table is about. And I have a few animated things. This is Pickle Rick right here, and that's Pickle Rick. If y'all don't know who Pickle Rick is, then I can't help you. You just missing out on some funny stuff. And I got some drag cars up here. Got a Top Fuel funny cars and Top Fuel dragsters and stuff. But for the most part, the theme on this desk is coffee mugs. And once I make some other changes at other place where I have the studios, then I might be able to get some room in there and start shooting the show from in there, and then have a theme mugged trucking show there. You remember for a short period of time when I was at Swift, I had a office there where I did shows, and the desk was full of big rigs, and that was going to be a theme for them. I just like themed based platforms like this, instead of using green screen. So that's that. So what am I doing now? What are my plans? Uh, well, I'm only home for. I got here yesterday. I think I'm gonna leave out on Friday morning. And just I know my clickbaity title was, I made it look like I was unhappy. I haven't really done a clickbait before, so y'all can give me a little bit of slack on that deal. I enjoy working at Melton, and it's been really good, man. It's really good. I will say that I'm not a mentor, and I don't know how the mentoring thing works with them, and I'm not ready to be a flatbed mentor anyway. But because of that, I'm making a lot less money working here than I did at Swift. But this is not apples to apples, okay? Um, uh, it's really good though, okay? And I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But when I do leave, it will be to do the owner operator thing. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna be riding with my boys, and I'm really looking forward to that. I have another son that drives, obviously. Yeah, my other two are, they do the pilots, the pilot cars. So, we can go do heavy, and me and one of my sons are driving the trucks, and then my other two boys are driving the pilot cars. So we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a damn good time. So that's my plans, and I'm gonna the way, just so you guys know a little bit more information. The way trucking works is, there is a stepping stool, and if the creme de la creme of trucking is those guys who pull those super huge long ass windmill blades. If they were at the tip top, let's just use them as saying they were at the tip top. You don't just jump there. In order to get there, you have to get into a flatbed, okay, and then you're like right here, and then you do step deck about right here, and then you do double drop about right here, and then you go to an RGN right here, and then you go to an RGN stretch, and you're right here, and then you can get to that level where you can drive. So it's a stepping stone to get there, but in order for you to get there, you have to have a certain amount of heavy miles on heavy driving and RGN or step deck, those levels on your DOT. You got to kind of earn that step up, and it's not, you don't really have to earn it, but by somebody who's truck driver and they don't like you, they don't want you to be up there. No, this is the insurance type of situation, because they won't insure you to take those bigger loads if you don't have the experience. Okay, now will they do it? Shit, yeah, they're gonna do it. But you know what's gonna end up happening, which is the reason why I haven't gotten out there yet, is because the insurance companies will say, we'll do it. We'll insure you to move that load, and it's let's say it's a $2 million excavator, okay, and they may say, okay, $10 million in insurance. And you might say, well, that's goddamn overkill. Are you kidding me? No, they just trying to rip me off. Why would they want to get that much coverage? Well, because they don't believe that you may hit a bridge. Okay, if you hit a bridge, you're gonna damage the equipment. So how much it's gonna cost to fix that equipment? Okay, not only that, you're gonna have to damage the road. So how much it's gonna cost for that? And so at the end of the day, it can be quite expensive. So they won't insure you until you have built up enough time at each level, and then eventually you ain't gonna do it anyway, because you ain't gonna want to pay for that much money in insurance. Okay, and that's their way of controlling who's getting in, who's not. I know that for a fact, because I've been there, done that, got a t-shirt. Okay, so I'm not guessing. Just like I wasn't guessing when it comes to leasing. A lot of people say, "Oh, leasing is horrible. You don't do a lease and blah 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 blah." That's a bunch of horse shit. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying that because everybody else said it. And the fact is, they don't have a truck. And if they had one, they leased it to get it. Okay, they did not go to their bank and say, "I want to purchase a big rig, Kenworth or Peterbilt or whatever. So can I have $190,000?" And then they wrote a check to them. Go take this to the Peterbilt dealership or whatever. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I know that didn't happen because I've been to too many banks that have told me the same thing: is they do not finance. And I don't even need the financing, okay, so to speak. What I wanted to do was take a lien against my own money, so that way I could get some payback, some kickback, and some tax incentives. But if I just pay it off, I only got the deduction of the depreciation. So for tax reasons, I was going to basically borrow the money from myself, but I needed a bank to do that, right? My own bank. And they said, "No, we ain't gonna get involved in a 3-axle commercial motor vehicle because they are a serious depreciating asset." And that's a fact. And then they told me the same thing, is that if you want to get into that, most of the time people just lease because you can write off the lease. They're the same as the depreciation as on a loan, but those people, it's pretty high interest because it's a lease, So you're gonna have to kind of finagle things, and work with them to get the interest down and all that kind of stuff. But these are just a little bit of information for you guys, and I'll talk more about that, at a later time. But do you guys have any more questions for me? Because if not, we've been on for an hour and a half, and I'm about to go join Barbecue Trucker and light up my pit. But I'm just going to do some sausage, and that's all today. I'm not going to eat nothing big. So anyway, guys, if you guys don't have anything else for me, the number that you see on the screen right there will be on the next time I do a live. But as soon as this is over, I'm done. I shut that phone off, other than the text message that the last guy sent. So I enjoy talking to you guys and interacting with you. So if you don't have anything else, did I miss anything? Looks like that's it. I'm gonna try to remember to put the mug, the link to how to get this I like big mugs, I can't lie mug, and where you can get one for yourself. Okay. All right. I believe we're gonna be good. I appreciate all you guys. So here you go. Ubiest of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you, and I'm 50 plus. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate all your time, and deliver undistracted. Boop.